Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lunch and Learn Live. Lunch and Learn Live. What is that flickery light that's back there? I can never achieve it doing anything with it. It drives me nuts. I don't know if it drives you nuts. Hopefully it doesn't bother you too much. Maybe it's just me. Anyway, welcome to Lunch and Learn Live this week, my darlings. I hope wherever in the world you are having a reasonably fabulous, if not downright awesome day. So where are you in the world is always a good place to start. And what is for lunch? Hello, Maggie. Good to see you. Hi, Sheila from Cape Town. Good to see you too. Hello. Hello. Who else is joining me today? Please always give eCam permission so that I can see your beautiful faces there. Alison says, hi, I found you on time this week. Hooray. Good to see you too. Welcome, darlings. Let me know where in the world you are. Let me know what is for lunch. What did I do with my cup of tea? I walked up here with a cup of tea. Oh, there it is. It's hiding behind my water jug. I've got a nice little matcha tea in my fancy new cup that I bought. Keeps it nice and warm. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Lovely to see you all, my darlings. Really great to see you. And I am really excited that we have just welcomed, many of you will know that over the last couple of weeks we've had our doors open, enrollments open for Living the Change, which is our online coaching program supporting women around the world to lead more fruitful and fulfilling lives. And we've welcomed in 227 new members over the last couple of weeks. So we're really, really thrilled to have you. And if you are one of those new members, a big welcome. And for those of you that are old members, you know I love you and a big welcome to Lunch and Learn. Simone is chopping mushrooms in Fulham. Tracy is in Andover having a Herbalife shake for lunch. Very good. Susie's in Oxfordshire. Don't often manage to find this, but here I am. Not sure how, she says, but you've done it. You've done it. Maggie's in Biggleswade having pea soup. Oh, quite fancy a pea soup. That sounds really nice. Hi, Tracy. Good to see you. Alison's in Buckinghamshire having ham sandwich and homemade soup. Yum. Kathy's awake bright and early over in Michigan. Good to see you, darling. How are you? Hope that first cup of coffee's going down a treat. Lovely to see you all wherever in the world you are, and welcome to Lunch and Learn. Ladies, today I wanted to talk about something which is really critical, and that is the power of support and the power of collaboration. And it's something that has really been moving me a lot over the last few days especially. And so first thing I'm going to say is ask for your humblest permission to weep, because if the last few times I've spoken about this to anyone is anything to go by, that's probably where I'm going to end up. Maybe now that I've said that, I won't, which would be good. It also doesn't help that I smashed my handbag into my eye right before coming on the live today. So this eye is already weeping of its own accord. But listen, this is something, now you may or may not be aware of this, but we have in our community here at One of Many a lot of healthcare workers, I don't know if it's because I'm a doctor and so, you know, we attract them, or if there's just a lot of healthcare workers out there in the world and they need a lot of help and support right now. But I'm really present to the fact that we have a community of whom a not insignificant portion of them are healthcare workers. And I know it's not just my community. I know some of you right here on the line are likely to be healthcare workers. And it's not just our community, like in any community, whether it's your village, your town, your neighborhood, you know, your friendship group, old school friends, you know, it's very likely that you know personally someone who at the moment is on the front line and really struggling with how things are unfolding with the COVID pandemic. I know here in the UK, it's dire. It's absolutely dire at the moment. And yes, this is really challenging, of course, for those people who are getting COVID, those people who are arriving in the hospitals unwell, those people who are losing loved ones to this virus. Yes, this is critical. And what I want to focus on today are our healthcare workers who are so relentlessly under pressure at the moment, especially because of the sheer weight of numbers of people being infected, which is adding to the weight of numbers that are being admitted into hospital, and especially in secondary care, though not exclusively in secondary care, things are really, really tough. So this was, I guess it's something that we're all aware of, especially here in the UK where, where the party line is, protect the NHS, etc. That's why one of the key reasons, one of the 3 reasons that the government tells us that we have to wear our masks and stay safe and use our hand sand and do all of that kind of stuff. So we're aware of it. But I think for many of us, we might not be quite present to just how tough it is. This last weekend, one of our certified coaches, Liz Taylor, put a post in the group called One of Many NHS Women. So a little over a year ago now, I encouraged the women in the NHS in our community to band together and to create a group, and because they all wanted to do something to support the NHS. So why don't you get together and have a conversation? And of course they have, and it has grown and evolved immensely over that period of time. And the women in there are extraordinary. And on the weekend, Liz posted an article from The Guardian about the psychologists, the therapists, the volunteers, the trauma counsellors that are supporting our NHS workers. It was a UK-based article, but I think the same thing is probably happening in many countries around the world right now. Because it is really hard, right? It is really hard. There are just floods of people coming in. There isn't enough space to put them. There's not enough staff to cover everything. One of our other NHS workers was saying that, they're doing 4 days on, 4 days off, 12-hour shifts at a time, and that is to cover the ICU, the intensive care. And they're not intensive care physicians, right? They're just regular, in her case, she's a rheumatologist, but that's to help cover the ICU at the moment. And then their day jobs, their normal work happens around that somehow. That other wards that are not coronavirus wards are being staffed by perhaps 1 consultant, where it would ordinarily be staffed by maybe 8 consultants and 3 junior staff. Like every aspect of the system in this country, and certainly, and I'm sure it is not the case, if you're in a different country and you know it to be true where you are, is stretched at its absolute limits at this time. And it doesn't show any signs of letting up for at least the next few weeks and possibly months as this new strain of the virus kind of continues. Now, why do I kind of bring this to a Lunch and Learn Live? Well, I'll tell you why, darlings. Because this is a rallying cry. This is a rallying cry for every single one of us in the One of Many community, and indeed any of your friends, to reach out and support someone that you know needs help. To put it in context, healthcare workers have got a bit of a, wear a bit of a badge of honour, stiff upper lip and all that, especially here in the UK. So asking for support and asking for help is tough at the best of times. But I think every single woman on this call would know that when you are exhausted, when you're on your knees, when you haven't slept, when you haven't eaten properly for, 3 full days on shifts back to back, and you can't tell up from down, you don't even know who you would call for help. You don't even know whether you should just call in to pick up something on the way home for dinner, or if you can't remember if there's anything in the fridge. Right now, our healthcare system is staffed by people who are doing a tremendous job, who are sacrificing their needs to be of service to a population that are all doing their very best. I don't really like how the government and sort of things are painting things. I think generally we're doing the best we damn well can to be great. But this is a huge deal, this virus. Yes, there's some people in the population who are not doing what they ought to, of course. But all of that aside, all of the politicking aside, the men and women in the healthcare services are really stretched. And with what we know about replenishment and what we know about how we are able to take care of ourselves when we are beyond the brink of exhaustion, I'm asking everyone in our community, and indeed, if this is resonating with you and you're happy to share this Facebook post, please share it. I'm asking for everyone to reach out to anyone they know. If you've got a friend, drop them a meal around, right? Leave it at their front door. Cook a double batch of spag bowl and leave them something. Like, help with food. Do something simple. Send them a WhatsApp message. Say, darling, I'm checking in. How are you? Do you need to chat to me? Like, be there. Now, not to say that people might be comfortable to speak about the real ins and outs of how they're doing outside of that arena, of course. It's full on, right? When you have lots of people dying every shift, right? That's hard to cope with, and they might not feel comfortable to open up. But I can't tell you how much of a difference it will make to know that you're there. So at a very individual level, that's the first thing I want to say. The second request that I have is that you share the First You website with everybody you can on your social media platforms. You don't know which NHS workers or healthcare workers are going to be watching you. So First You is a website that was crafted by the one of many NHS women. They're a group of graduates of our programs, a group of certified coaches from our programs who, even before the pandemic hit, right, looked out and saw an NHS under pressure with burnout and fatigue and exhaustion crippling the workers. That was before March last year. In response to that, before March last year, these women crafted a website called First You, and I believe it's for firstu.org. But Joe, if you could please put the link in the comments, I'd really appreciate that. They crafted the website to be able to be a signpost for healthcare workers who were under pressure. And they've organised it beautifully. Like, you can arrive, and if you, with a traffic light system, you're red, like you're on your knees and you need like a psychologist, psychology help or therapy kind of help or something like that. You need a professional and you need it fast. Amber, where if you're feeling, a little shaky, and green if you're just there for some ongoing kind of personal growth and development. So they've organised a beautiful website that has links to lots of awesome resources that are available to support this community. So Joe's just put the First You website up for you. It's firstu.org. And my deepest request today is that we come together as a community. I come here every Tuesday and give free education and come and inspire and motivate us. And this is my ask, right? This is my ask. So 1, reach out personally to anyone you know who is a healthcare worker. Do a little more. Sacrifice a little for them this week from Mother or from Warrioress. For the next few weeks. All of us have got more on our plate than we need, but our healthcare workers at the moment have got more than it's possible to cope with, and to see their colleagues getting sick and everything else as well. I believe we all need to do a bit of sacrifice. So reach out to someone you know. Number 2, please share the First You website on your social media, or text it to a friend. Just say, I know you're under pressure. This is from the one of many group that I'm a part of. Or this is a website I came across today. It might be helpful. Just have that at your disposal. Even if you're not a healthcare worker, have it at your disposal and share it with people. Because if you share it and ask people to share it, please share this to your Facebook page so people know that there is support. And it's just a lovely Facebook, it's a lovely website that then signposts people to various organisations that can help. So can you do that? Number 2, share the First You website. Number 3 is, and again, please do share this video. Number 3 is I am going to start running and I am going to be working with our certified coaches and we have an army of certified coaches who are volunteering to support with this at the moment. We are going to be running, I don't even know what the name is, but I'm doing the first one this Friday. I'm going to be running just a virtual, wobble room. In some NHS trusts, they're calling them the wobble room, like a place just to go to have a cry, to debrief, to talk about what's going on for the day, practice a bit of mindfulness, like a safe haven, a safe space. I'm going to be creating just safe spaces exclusively for healthcare workers, and I'll be posting the links to that in the One of Many NHS Women Facebook page. I think is the best place for me to do it, or maybe I'll put it on the Firstuorg Facebook page as well. But that is for any healthcare workers who need a safe space to come and talk about, and they can talk openly about any awful things that have happened for them during the day, that in a mixed space, because we have great coaching, of course, inside of One of Many, and I know we have a lot of NHS women in there, but I know that you kind of maybe don't feel that it's okay to bring the content of what you're facing every day to some of these calls, because it is so traumatic and you don't want to upset people. So we're creating a safe space to have a debrief, and I'm hoping that we're going to be able to do those, a couple of times, maybe 2-3 times a week is what I will be looking to run those through this kind of critical period time. I know that none of what we are doing is enough, and I know that, yes, there needs to be things that are funded properly by government or by somewhere, I don't know. And yes, we all need to come together to lobby and support and get support to the healthcare workers that they need. All of those things also need to happen. But right now, this first wave of things that I'm inviting you to participate and inviting you to share with people that you know are just some Band-Aid solutions to just hold a safe space for women who, I guess in the first instance have a certain, are aware of what we do, although I know our One of Many NHS women are going to be sharing the safe space with all of their colleagues. So just wanted to kind of throw the doors open and say we're going to staff that somehow and support our coaches to be able to do that as best we can. We're not going to do it perfectly. We're absolutely not going to do it perfectly. I can tell you that right now, because I don't know exactly what's needed yet, but it feels really important that we start immediately. It's one of these cases, I think, where we're going to do it and figure it out as we go along to kind of hold that space. So thank you for all of you who are doing that. Yes, you can. So let me answer some questions about things. That's great. There's some awesome things here. Wow, Tracy's saying 6-day, 12-hour shifts with 2 days off. That's fucking incredible, Tracy. It's unbelievable what you ladies are doing. It is so full on, right? And yeah, Kate is saying here, I chair a Maternity Voices partnership. I'm going to be offering our local midwives free monthly relaxation sessions with my yoga skills if they're popular, looking at extending further. Most midwives are women and they need their cups filling so they can give awesome care. It's not a lot, but it's a little I can give back. That's it, Kate. And I think that's the kind of attitude that we all need to be thinking about. I'm not, as a coach, right? As a coach, myself, and as we obviously have a coaching organization, I'm always saying value what you do. And then there's these moments where you're at the peak of a global pandemic and all of the resources are tapped out. There isn't enough staff. More money isn't even going to solve the problem this week. Even if there was a shit ton of money this week, it would not solve the problem because of the number of staff that are available. So it's at these moments, it feels like, to put it in a kind of different context, a bit more like a war effort. I know they're using a lot of war kind of terminology, and I don't like that. But it's the only other time, I think, when we can look around and go, what is the little bit that we can do, right? What is the little bit that we can do? Sarah's saying she started running free online self-care facial reflexology sessions for NHS staff, trying to get the word out. So awesome. That's absolutely great. If you've got things like that you're doing, please, by all means, why not put them on the post here? Because absolutely, there may be somebody who connects with what you're doing or what you're offering and would benefit from that. So Archana's asking, what is the link for the One of Many NHS Facebook place, please? So we'll put them in there. Joe Faminska's put in the Firstuorg Facebook page, but there is also a closed group called the One of Many NHS Women. If you search for that on Facebook, One of Many NHS Women, and if you are an NHS or healthcare worker or interested in supporting the NHS, then the girls will happily bring you in there, and that's where I'll be sharing the links in the first instance to, because I don't want, like, this is not just for anyone to come and show up and have free coaching, right? They're going to be very closed and clearly curated spaces for healthcare workers. So that's what we're going to be up to. That's great. Cynthia's saying, I'm not aware of anything like this in the States, but it would be of monumental importance. Cynthia, reach out to your community, see what is going on, make some calls to people and find out and see if there's something, that they need, because together I think we might not be able to change the whole world. We might not be able to transform every healthcare system in the world, and we might not be able to even get a fraction of what they need. But if we can provide the space for one person to be able to offload a particularly shitty day so that they can go back the next day and save a few more lives, that's a good fucking day, right? It's a good day. These guys are really doing it tough, and we can support them, okay? Joe, you've put 2 different websites up there, darling. You've put firstu.net and firstu.org. Is it both of those, or which one is it? Yeah, that's it. Sarah's saying, what do I take the breast clinic team when I go get my results on Friday? Suggestions, please. Sarah, first of all, how selfless. I know that you're going through, assessments for your with your breast stuff at the moment. That's full on, my love. But this is it, right? If you're going for any appointments, take apparently chocolates are great because the little peps and pick-me-ups. I don't know. Take a bunch of hot cross buns. Just do anything would make a real difference. You know what it feels like when you haven't had time to eat and someone shows up with something that's just super easy to grab and eat. Like, those things will make a difference. I don't know that we can kind of turn up unannounced, but if you're going somewhere, maybe you can take along a bunch of food to help out, right? Ask them to drop it around the ICU or share it with the ICU if necessary. Thank you, Joe. So it's one of many. It's not .net. It's firstu.org, right? It's firstu.org. That's a lovely idea. Angela's saying hand creams, pampering stuff, things to pop in a wobble room somewhere. Now, the other thing is, ladies, if this is of interest to you, and you're wanting to contribute, I'm not able to organize a whole army of people who want to contribute in a million ways, right? Because I am also managing all of the things. However, this particular piece, the provision of the safe space, that's the piece that I'm going to take ownership of. If, however, there's a group of women who are not NHS women, because this is the other thing, the one of many NHS women 10 months ago had this great idea and they got it started. If you are outside of the NHS and you want to support them to get First You out there, then reach out here on this post and make yourself known. And we can, I know we've got a few great active volunteers who are, again, outside the NHS, who can start liaising with each of you, connecting you together to get some working groups together or whatever we need to do to maybe mobilize some other things, right? Because other things I'm thinking about, there are great free counselling services, because we're not providing counselling services, it's just a safe space, right? That's it. We're not going to be fixing anything. But there are some great counselling services. There are some charities and so on that are doing good work that need funding. So the other piece that is there is the possibility of maybe some of you feel called to fundraise for some of the charities and organisations that are already doing really great work in the counselling kind of space. Does that make sense? You might feel moved to do that. If you feel moved to do that, post on the comments section. Get to know each other. Get on the phone to each other. You don't need my seal of approval, right? This is my kind of rallying cry to the women who want to support and be of service, to say, do it. Do whatever little piece you can. I don't know the answer to that question, Jackie. If there's anyone on the session here today who does, are they taking volunteers to help out in the ICU? I'm an ex-nurse. I'm available. Jackie, great question. If anyone knows the answer to that, please let Jackie know. And indeed, let's make this post be all about that stuff, right? Louise is saying we're not allowed anything that has to be shared. No boxes of chocolates or sweets. Got it, Louise. So what can we give? What can we give that doesn't need sharing? Is it like, how do we do that? How do we do that? Is it possible? Are we just barking up the wrong tree? Let us know. Let us know. And that's it. Angela's saying there is some great support, but many are so exhausted they don't even have the energy to search for help. That's why that critical, if you know someone personally and can reach out proactively, it's going to make a real difference. Awesome. Great. Joe is saying, I'll make sure this goes to the front page of the site. Could you let me have the link to join? I'm not sure what you're talking about there, Joe. If it's Friday, absolutely. I haven't set the link up yet, but I will. Karen is saying contact your nearest hospital, but you need to find out who to contact. Don't just madly go ringing. Let's find out who should we be contacting at hospitals to seek. Angela is saying our trust are taking volunteers, so check your local trust. So if you're in the UK and you can help and you can volunteer, contact your local NHS trust is what Angela is saying, and say I am available to support or volunteer in some capacity. Archana's saying there's a shortage of nurses in some hospitals. However, it would depend on your risk assessment. But, you know, ring, call, volunteer, absolutely. Joe's saying they'll have a bank staff team in your local hospital. Well done. Okay, good. So, ladies, these are the things, right? We are in a critical time, and the word that I am getting for our, especially secondary care, healthcare professionals, you know, the nurses, the doctors, and so on, and you know, and the ward clerks and the orderlies and all of that are manning these, especially, you know, especially the secondary care stuff. They're really absolutely snowed under right now, and they are now getting to that point where they're not just snowed under and can't get to it all, having to make tough decisions, having to make decisions about who's going to go on ventilators and who's not going to go on ventilators. Those are the decisions that are either the daily reality for some people or just around the corner. And can you imagine having to live with that for the rest of your life? It's going to be tough. These people are going to need support to debrief and get past this when we're out the other side. What you guys are doing, if it's you, oh my God, I just cannot even speak to how much my heart is with you and how much I sit vigil with you every time I pause every day. I'm thinking of it. Having said that, let's do what we can to help get through this critical piece when we are still so far behind having just even enough support for people to know that they're doing great, that they're amazing. You know, just little messages of help and encouragement to people that you know is really, really amazing. Yeah, good. All right. Anything else, ladies? I don't know what else I want to. So number one, think about all of the people you know in your space. You know, one of my girlfriends is a ward clerk on a hospital, and you know, I've just been checking in with her much more over the last few days, seeing how she's going. I've got a plan to do a big cook up, and I'm going to drop a couple of dinners around to her place in the next couple of days, just because she and her husband both work in the hospital. So it's just full on, right? It's absolutely full on. So think, who do I know personally? What support can I do personally? Second thing is then please spread the word to any healthcare professionals about firstu.org, a great website to reference and find help. And also about our little safe spaces, our virtual wobble rooms that myself and some of our coaches are going to be hosting over the next few weeks. Send people to one of many NHS women or to the Firstu Facebook page, and we'll get it on the website of firstu.org as well, if that's okay. Thank you, Joe. So that they're signposted and there. So please share the word, get the message out. And then third wave of things. What else can you do? Can you volunteer to your hospital? Call them up and let them know if you have services that can be of assistance. There's probably websites where you can even do that. I know first time around, there was that huge database of volunteers. I don't know if that still exists or whatever. But let's do all of that kind of stuff. And if you discover something, come back and post it here on this I may as well post it on this video so we can use this as a place, a collaboration place for next steps. My final request is that if this is resonant or helpful or a way of getting the message out, please do feel free to share this video to your Facebook page or whatever, and do that. Let's just fucking do something, right? Let's do whatever we can, because there's a lot we can't do. There's a shit ton we can't do at the moment. But what we can do is really step into supporting those men and women who are right there making really tough calls every single day and are so fucking tired they don't know up from down. They're doing amazingly. Yeah, great. That's another good call there. Archana's saying many vaccination centres are desperate for volunteers if everyone wants to help as mass vaccinations are ramping up. Absolutely. Good call. Really good call. And yes, I concur. Susie says, and thanks to all my wonderful NHS colleagues for all that you are doing, giving day by day. Honestly, I don't think any of us, either lay people, I count myself in that, even though I'm a trained doctor these days. You really wouldn't want me in there. Or maybe you would. Something to consider, right? But, you know, I don't think any of us are ever going to fully understand the depth of sacrifice that you guys are doing at the moment. And I don't think you'll probably appreciate just the insurmountable task that you are facing and have faced until you're out the other side. So what I want to say is, here in this community, I am sure I speak for the overwhelming majority of us when I say we stand by you, we sit vigil with you, we think about you, we love you, but we're not going to stop at just standing outside and clapping for you. We are going to do whatever practical support we can, any small thing. And I know many of us are on our knees, but we will all do something. We'll all try and do something small, whatever that might be. Even if it's just sharing a damn Facebook post to get a message out, we can all do something like that. Because what you are doing is huge. You didn't ask for this. Yes, you signed up to help people in their hour of need, but I don't think you signed up to do it in quite this way. So thank you for what you are doing. Thank you for who you are in the world, and know that you are appreciated. And you are witnessed and seen, and we will keep showing up for you and doing what we possibly can. Lots of love to you all, and yes, lovely point there, Joe. Let's be here long term for all of our healthcare workers. This is what we're doing right now, but there is going to be a wave of support needed in the long term as well. All right, my darlings. Lots of love to all of you. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for sharing and sending a big bucket of love. These are tough times for all of us. Be kind to yourself. Radical compassion is the order of the day. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to as many people as you can find to be kind to today. And this way we will get through all this together. I love you loads, and I'll speak again soon. Bye.